I'll be that. I will be that. So
Riverboat KG.
let me because I'm like, why is this not popping up? Because I never made it pop up. There we go. Now, once again, we are live.
Here we
You
go.
are looking live. All right, here we go.
Oh, now I
Now,
see it.
yeah, I really messed up. Now we're gonna start this off not quite DC-ish, but we're gonna start this off sports wise because last night was a taxing and trying night in sports. We have our resident Buffalo Bills fan here. He didn't sleep. I didn't sleep. I don't think most of the country slept last night. So, Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest last night on the field. Had to be resuscitated. He is, last I checked, in the hospital. I think he's been downgraded to stable condition, but I know they had to put him to sleep to put a breathing tube in him. The boss BJ, your Buffalo Bills, take it away.
Um, it was a rough night last night. Watching the game. Of course, you're excited for the game. It's a big game, biggest one of the biggest games of the year, biggest game in the AFC thus far. And games just getting started, and you see what looks like routine tackle. T. Higgins lowers his shoulder a little bit, which any receiver running back would do. Um, and Hamlin, makes a tackle, stands up and feints, and hits the ground. And we see things like this all the time. This is a violent sport, and you expect the trainers to come out. Okay, maybe he got the wind knocked out of him, and as the seconds tick away, and you hit a minute, you hit 2 minutes, and they went to commercial break. They come back, and you see the Bills players just that distress on their face and panicking, crying. And for me, it put me into tears. And when Joe Buck said they're doing CPR on a 24-year-old kid, like it's damn football. They're doing CPR on the field on a 24-year-old kid living his dream. And I don't know what Paycor Stadium holds, but the Bills tried their best to build a wall around them. But you got families, people. Just imagine people if that's their first game. That's traumatizing. Of course, for the Bills players, the Bengals players, the Bills players, because that's they see this guy every day. From all the reports we've learned more about him over the last 24 hours. He's a great guy. Um, and it was hard. It was just a hard pill to watch, and just I think when I broke down is when I saw McDermott trying to hold back tears. That kind of like broke me down because they showed the shot of him first, and I'm like, something's really wrong. And then it just went from there. I don't even know how. I don't even know how Buffalo gets back to football. Like, of course, that's not important. As of right now, the NFL suspended the Bengals and the Bills Week 18 game, and I think they're figured out later. The reports I was hearing early was Goodell was saying the game had to be played within 2 days, which is just impossible. They got Damar Hamlin off the field. The ambulance finally got his mom down there. His family's in the stands. They finally got his mom down there to ride in the ambulance, and I really thought that and this is just my feeling. This is nothing to hurt. I thought they were holding out to see if he got to the hospital to see if they could stabilize him, so they could give the Bills players that relief. Like, hey, he's good. You know, um, he's talking blah blah blah, and then try to get back to a game. And if even if that would have happened, the Bills would have got the wheels beat off of them after seeing that. There's nothing you can just process and be like, okay, we're good to go. For a minute, when they thought they had to get back onto the field, you saw Stephon Diggs um trying to rile up the troops with tears in his eyes, trying to rally the guys, trying to get to get everybody going. He was in the cornerback Neil, I believe it was Neil. He was in his face trying to get him together. Um, it was just it was hard. Nothing we've never seen. Now I don't say we've never seen that. We haven't seen that on the field. CPR, resuscitation, AED. Of course, you think Hank Gathers. You think a couple of people that come to mind when um, but it was just so hard to watch, and it got to a point where it's like, just turn the damn game off. Just and Booger McFarland, Adam Scheffner, Scott Van Pelt, Ryan Clark, um, Lisa Salters. Like, this is uncharted territory. Lisa Salters was visibly shook up. Adam Schefter was. McFarland. Well, all these. Everybody was just. It was just. They're trying to talk. They're trying to talk it through, and it's hard to listen to. I thought when Scott Van Pelt came with Ryan Clark, I think Ryan Clark did a hell of a job. Hell of a job breaking it down, talking about Damar Hamlin, and not as the safety for the Buffalo Bills, but as a human being and what this meant. You heard everybody. You heard Mike Vrabel talk. Mike Tomlin, everybody. It's just not something, you know, you never want to see it. As violent as this sport is, everybody, when the game is over, when you see them triple zeros, everybody wants to go home in one piece. You might be a little banged up, but nothing to that extent. And it's for me as a Buffalo Bills fan, it's just hard. It's hard. This team has been through so much, injury after injury, snowstorm. The snowstorm just happened, killed some people in Buffalo. You know, um, just what they've had to go through, and then this happens on the field, and I think that for what happened last night, um, the Cincinnati Bengals deserve a lot of credit. Zach Taylor, the stadium, though, that was classy. I know a lot of people, be like, "Hey man, Bills Mafia is the best, fan base, this, that, and other." Those fans sat there patiently. They understood the severity. You could hear when every time they came back, you could hear a pin drop in that stadium. I thought it was just really, really classy of Taylor and McDermott, two guys. And when you go find your coach, these are the men that you need to lead your teams. This is what you're talking about, leader of men. That can handle 53 men, the training staff. This affects everybody. Everybody that was on that Bills and Bengals sideline, everybody that could see from the stands, you watching somebody get resuscitated, whether you clean the jerseys, whether you mix the Gatorade, that's an emotional roller coaster, and it's traumatizing. Um, it's really hard. I know the report I just saw on Twitter, they said he went from 100% oxygen to 50. I think he's still, um, I think he's still, you said he was stable. I didn't see an update as stable, but if he is, that's great news. But right now, I don't know what we do past this point as the NFL. Like, I mean, of course, the saying is, the games must go on, and it's just like we're talking about Damar Hamlin here. I cannot imagine what at the time the WWF roster had to go through when they watched Owen Hart die and had to continue the show. I can't, after watching what I watched last night, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. Um, I think they both teams did the right thing. I think the Buffalo Bills would be cool with, hey, we'll take a loss 7-3 and move on and try to figure out how to get together to play the Patriots this coming Sunday, because the game means nothing. You know, you're hoping that your comrade, your friend, somebody you see every day, you get to know as a person, you hoping that they're able to recover from this. Like you know, this man was in critical condition, you know, not breathing on his own. And you know, it's just as much football we've watched, you know, like what do you do after this? What safety measures do you implement? Do you change the padding around the chest? There's so many questions because this is uncharted territory. I just, I send one up for him, his family, the Bills, the Bengals, T. Higgins. You know, I don't know if anybody saw the shot. He was leaving with his mom. Um, you know, I know Burrow came over. The whole Bengal squad, man. The whole Bengal squad. Um, you know, it's tough. And you know, I try to explain to my wife, like, I know women don't understand the depths of how we follow these teams. You know, I've been following Buffalo football since 89, 90. This is extended family to me. You know, I live and die this team to a point where when they were losing real bad, it was making me sick. I couldn't watch, stop watching football. You know, and KG will tell you, like, I'm not watching. I can't watch this. You know, so you know, especially with social media now, you get to know the players. You can follow them on social media. You can see their movements and joke with them, and unfortunately for me, I don't live in Buffalo, so I don't get to see go to a live game, but I watch them. And you live and die with these players. You live and die with the team, and for something like that to happen, and just see those players go through what they went through is just heartbreaking. And like I said, I just wish him a speedy recovery. The hell with football. Just get well. Um, I know his toy drive is, I think, over $5 million now. I posted the link. I donated to it last night. And I'll say this before I pass it on. Everybody has to remember this feeling, because it shouldn't take this feeling for us to realize life is fragile. Things can happen in a snap of a finger, and you could be the healthiest person on earth. You could be the unhealthiest. It doesn't matter. It's no when your time card needs to be punched, whether it's fully or half, or it doesn't matter. So with that being said, everybody that's coming together right now, donating, the unification across sports, entertainment, everything, politics, everybody, keep that energy. Keep that energy. It doesn't matter, black, white. Right now, it doesn't even matter. Keep that energy. Um, that's it, man. I'm to the point now where I haven't really been on social media too much today. I had to turn my notifications off for the Bills app. If I know you guys don't have it. For the Bills app, when you get a notification, it gives a part of the shout song for the Bills, and I heard it a couple times today. I said I can't do this today. I can't do this today. I got to do it on my time and get the updates and stuff. And that's just where I am right now. Just still heartbroken, trying to figure out how this Bills team is going to recover from this, man. This is just, is something we've never seen before.
Midnight Rider.
Gosh, I don't even know how to follow that up. I think BJ said it all. I think the announcers did a great job of not showing the incident again, kind of building that shield around him, so you really couldn't see too much. And I think ESPN did a great job of keeping the shot so far back that you really couldn't see everything that was going on. You saw a lot of the reactions, but you didn't see the actual treatments being implemented. For me, it was a tough night just because you just don't see this happen. The only other time I can think of anything like this is like BJ was saying, like Hank Gathers. I think Reggie Lewis had a similar situation. Maybe Utley when he was when he got paralyzed. Like things like that stick out. So I think the NFL did a good job considering the situation. Could they have called it earlier? Yeah, but I mean, them calling it earlier or anything like that, with that, I think the most important thing was just getting him stable. Off the field was another situation where they actually kind of took a moment to reassess what was going on and the magnitude and the gravity of it. And I commend Sean McDermott and Zach Taylor for them putting their foot down. Because I felt like at a certain point, they protected their players and put their foot down and decided that we're not doing this today. And maybe the league did their thing too, but I just felt like the coaches stepped in. Also, just to the people covering it, like you talked about Ryan Clark, Booker McFarland, like these guys didn't wildly speculate. They didn't try to give you too much information. They just kept it simple. And they kept it based on what they knew and just told us what we knew and didn't give us anything more. And then this morning, I don't know what station you guys listen to, but the guys on 980, Medhurst and Chris Russell, they did a great job of just kind of talking like BJ was talking about the human part of it. And yeah, it was a tough night for football, a tough night for sports. And I'm glad that humanity prevailed over everything else, that this kid meant something to everybody enough that we didn't have to do business as usual, because that would have been a tough watch. Go ahead, KG.
See, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. Although I do give kudos, credit the way the Monday night staff, Booger McFarland, Adam Schefter, Susie Koba, Lisa Salters, everybody that reported. I watched, and let's not forget hometown legend Scott Van Pelt and Ryan Clark, you know, how they handled everything. But then you had the other end of the spectrum. And I was going to play the intro, but I'm not even going to play the intro to it. Bart Scott needs to be kicked in his nuts for what he said. T. Higgins is already feeling bad enough. You need to be kicked in your nuts for kicking that man while he's down, making him feel worse with your comments. You need to be kicked in your nuts with steel toe boots with spikes on the end. That's how I feel about Bart Scott. Skip Bayless, even though he came back and apologized and he had a heartfelt thing this morning, his tweet was kind of sort of taken out of context because it was a series of tweets, but everybody ran with it because he's the guy you love to hate. But people forget players are humans as well. So, like BJ said, I wish him. Oh, go ahead, brother.
I don't know what Bart Scott was thinking. I don't know what do you expect T. Higgins to do? Not fight for yards? T. Higgins, we're not talking about. This isn't flag football. This is the NFL. This isn't. I don't know where Bart came off and thought that was actually okay. I mean, did he know how big T. Higgins is? We're not talking. This isn't I forgot. I can't even think of the speedster's name. This ain't a fight. See, I think T. Higgins is he 6'3"? I think T. Higgins like 6'3". He has to be like 215, 220.
He's like 6'3", 6'5". He's in that range. Because he had a basketball career.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, and we're not. I don't understand. What Bart Scott said was completely ignorant. And like KG said, to kick him while he already feels like shit. You know, you were a part of the play, and the man hit you, and now it has to be resuscitated. And he's walking out with his mom. His mom is trying to console him. Grown man. Like, you could tell he was hurting. And, he made a tweet to send prayers and support, and everybody under the tweet gave him love. Everybody gave him love, support, like, hey, man, prayers to you, too. You keep your head up, too. It's a freak accident. It was a freak accident. As many violent hits. We saw how many violent hits did we just see with the couple of bowls? How many the targeting Marvin Harrison Jr. hit? How many violent hits we just seen over the last week in college football alone? It's just a freak accident, man. Unfortunately, for Damar Hamlin, he's fighting. He was fighting for his life. But we live in a time where people just say anything for views. And
Clickbait.
Bart Scott, you'll have a special plane. You'll have a special plane. Your seat's gonna be on fire. Promise you.
Well, the Damar Hamlin, his families, of course, we are praying for all that were involved. Every player, we got you, and the whole league has got him, and that's every fan base. We got you. So, moving on to our next topic, the Commanders fumbled the bag yet again this week, not only on the field but off the field as well. We haven't been on in a couple of weeks because we were off for holiday and hiatus and things like that. So we didn't get to cover this. The Commanders, Daniel Snyder, being sued by O-Line Entertainment, formerly known as Super Hogs Incorporated, I'm sure. And that is members of the original Hogs, Joe Jacoby, Mark May, John Riggins, Fred Dean, Doc Walker, versus Washington Commanders' Daniel Snyder. Why? Because he decides to use the Hogs name without proper compensation of the Hogs. Now, if you are not familiar with the Hogs, the story of the Hogs, Boss Hog, Joe Bugle, may he rest in peace, when they came up with that name in practice and it took off the way it did during the 80s, well, the early 80s, when it took off the way that it did, George Stark, who had such a great mind, decided nobody's going to make money off of this but us. So he created Super Hogs Unlimited. They had full-time employees, office, everything, because they made the t-shirts, the jacks, they made everything like that because they made the money back themselves for what they were doing. Nobody else was going to get rich off of them. Knowing that as a Washington Redskin fan, you still go and you make this Commander Tutty. So Lieutenant Commander Chris P. Bacon is basically what he is to me. You fumbled the bag on the mascot. You fumbled the bag against Cleveland. How much further can this team fall? I'm gonna start with the midnight ride on this one because I just your thoughts on the fumbling of the bag this weekend. Then I got a question, and then we're moving on.
I got to be honest, man. The whole Major Tutty thing, it's not for us. If you're 18, if you're 13 and over, Major Tutty's not for you. Major Tutty's for the kids. And that's what this whole thing has been about, is trying to find a way for this generation of fans to be built up and have something to hold on to. Sadly enough, they've alienated a lot of the older fans. A, with the name change. B, with the choosing of the name. C, not picking maybe the name that everybody wanted. D, by putting a mannequin in the booth instead of a statue. E, by redoing the mannequin again and still kind of messing it up. F, just by always trying to go to these same situations to build a team out. G, the terrible as we are Commanders. I don't know. I can go on and on. Like fumbling the bag isn't even what it is. It's just what they do now. They just screw it up. I mean, you got the seal, you got the pull rollout. At one point, I thought it was just because fans wanted their way and they would picking nits, but it's really just been handled wrong, and it's been done completely wrong the whole time. I don't mind the Hulk. I don't care about Major Tutty because I'm never going to stand in line to hug Major Tutty or see Major Tutty, so I could care less on him. The fact that they use the Hogs thing is typical what this organization does. Every time they get in trouble, they go back to the past to pull somebody out to save their ass. They did it with the Sean Mannequin. They did it with the Sean Road last year. You had it took forever to get Bobby Mitchell in the Ring of Fame. Took forever for the retiring Sonny's jersey. Like it's like they keep trying to find something to placate us when they know they screwed it up. And even when they do something, try to do something right, they misspell it or something. So then you got London Fletcher in the Ring of Honor. So it's like I don't know who makes decisions over there. I feel bad for Jason Wright because I feel like he just gets a memo at the last minute and they throw something together and see if it stick. And I just can't wait till August 22nd, 2023, when some other guy's being interviewed on Channel 7 News because he's the new owner and he wants to tell us what they're going to do in terms of the next season or whatever. I'm ready for this to just be sold and be done. I'm good.
BJ?
Man, where do I start? I mean, I would like a hug from Major Tutty. I mean, look, the Midnight Rider hit everything on the head. One, the thing is, if you did it the right way, I don't care about Major Tutty. Nobody over, I go with Midnight Rider. Nobody over 13 cares about Major Tutty. You could play in the dirt field in Kentland and have everybody gather around. These fans want wins. Nobody cares about any of this stuff they're doing. And it would be irrelevant. I think, the fumbling in the back, they do things at the wrong time. Why not see if you win the Cleveland Browns game, then the Dallas game is huge, then you bring out Major Tutty, right? Here's the other thing. If you did it right and you went through the guys that have those copyrights and paid them their thing, you bring out Major Tutty. You bring out the pig pen. You bring out different things to spice this thing up. If you're going to go all the way, all to the wall. Everything they do, it's not even half-ass. Saying half-ass for this organization is a compliment. They do quarter shit. This is what they do. They don't even. It's like the Midnight Rider said. This guy is, what's the guy's name? The black guy.
Jason Wright.
Is it Jason Wright? He's getting a memo. They want to roll it out Sunday. He's getting them. They're waking him up Sunday at 2:30 in the morning. Like, hey, this is what we want to do. Get your ass up and get your ass to the stadium now and make this happen. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. One of the most tragic events in this team's history, Sean Taylor. How do you keep messing up events for him? How do you keep messing up events for him? We're not even on the field stuff yet, right? You bring Joe Gibbs in. The team lays a damn egg in front of the most legendary, one of the most legendary figures in the franchise history. Like, I don't know, man. I know, of course, we know Dan Snyder's a buffoon, right? We know that he's ran this organization into the ground. And you would think that even the sun would shine on a dog's ass every now and again. And you had the 2012 season, you had the 2015 season, and you fumbled some players that maybe you should have kept. But it's just mind-blowing where this organization is and what they do and what they continuously do wrong. All you had to do is go to O-Line Entertainment. Hey, this is what we want to do. It's not like they don't have the money. This is what we want to do. What you think about this mascot? Should he be meaner? You know what I'm saying? This is what we're thinking about. Give us some ideas. Why? Because the crazy thing is next year, Legends Day, they're gonna want them to come. That's why none of these players. That's why a lot of these older players, these legends, don't want to be bothered with this organization. You know, I remember when Dan Snyder took over the team. A lot of people, John Riggins, they felt alienated. You know, they felt alienated from this team, and it's just like that's the last you want the players that made this franchise what it was. The last thing you want to do is feel like they're not welcome. You know, they should have a parking pass, a damn wherever you want, what you want. You know, your tab is on me, everything. I don't. It's just mind-boggling, man. But that's what they do. That's what they do. You know, I know everybody's ready for new ownership, new coaching, quarterback. It's like, this it's just nothing that you go to the stadium. I've said this over and over again. That's a D- experience. The hope from walking to the stadium, the traffic, the food. If you're lucky, you don't have mold on your bread, your hot dog bread. If your beer is not stale, it's the whole 9 yards, top to bottom. You can't go in that stadium and say this is good food, or this is a good experience. I'd rather come here than watch it at home. I'd rather do this than that. No, people are going to that stadium because they love this team, and for the first time in a long time. And I don't know if it's because the Cleveland Browns have dark colors too, but it looked like the stadium was favorite for the Commanders, and they dropped the egg. Major Tutty came out and he dropped the egg, so they own one in the Major Tutty area, and they about to be 0-2 next week because Dallas gonna stomp a mud hole in that. Dallas got division to play for. They are not gonna come in and play with Washington. Is that game here?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
And then also
That
that
stadium
game. That game is the retirement
Flex.
of Sonny Jurgens' number 9.
Yeah, they should hold that off. They should hold that off.
That should have been
Because
done a long time ago.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But they should hold that off because next week's gonna be an ass whooping of a lifetime. Like it just is. It's not gonna be. We want Dallas. Dallas is gonna come in here, and they're leaving with some of the Commanders' wives next week. That's what we're talking about this coming Sunday. The way this team, and now I'm going on the field. The way this team comes out and lays an egg in huge situations. Your coach doesn't know they could be eliminated. Green Bay eliminated that ass at 4:00. They beat the shit out of the Vikings. That was it. That was it. That was all. Your team had their playoff destiny in their hand and could have had a huge division rivalry game against Dallas last week at home for the marbles. And they come out and let the Cleveland Browns, I don't care who's at quarterback, you're supposed to take the Cleveland Browns, put them on their hands and knees, and be like, sit, bark like a dog, hop on one leg, and you dispose of them and you send them home. But, not this team. And I don't care who started at quarterback, whether it was Heineke or Wentz. The preparation, the effort, it just doesn't seem like they, from top to bottom, it seems like when they come on the field, it's like you can tell that they don't practice well. They don't practice well. You can look at other teams, San Francisco, Buffalo, Kansas City, Miami with Mike McDaniel, Cincinnati. The Raiders play better than that. And they got Josh McDaniels ain't no top tier coach, but you can tell the teams that practice the right way to prepare themselves for game day, and the Commanders don't do that. They don't do that, and it unfortunately, if ownership is changing, you're probably gonna see Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio and Scott Turner next season.
I'm gonna say this: with everything that we've been through, and this team, and I agree with everything you gentlemen have said about them fumbling off the field, on the field. They fumbled with Sean Taylor's jersey retirement. And a lot of that was them. But, you know, the one thing that came out of that weekend was Jackson Mahomes. And I still want to fight him on site. On site. I see Jackson Mahomes. You got to knuckle up. I don't give a shit. Like, what you did was real mad disrespectful, Slim. So you got to knuckle up. And it's whatever. I'll fight your security. I'll fight you. I'll fight anybody. But what you did was mad disrespectful. And I got about a couple thousand people that's in line that want to fight you too. So they fumbled. I can't say the Sean Taylor memorial installment, air quotations there, because that's what it is. They said statue, but it's an installment because it was designed by his daughter. So I can't really say they fumbled that. I think it should have been a bronze statue like they have out. I think it should be a couple of bronze statues out front the stadium like they have in Baltimore. You got Johnny Unitas on one side. You got Ray Lewis on the other. I think you got a couple of statues you could actually put there because this is a historic franchise. Spend the money. Make it attractive to come to the stadium. Then, you know, this Major Tutty thing, I think I'm Ben, you would know better than me because I may be, you know, the concussions may be getting to me, so I may not be able to remember as much. But Washington has never really had an official mascot ever. Now we had Superfan. Chief Z was the biggest Superfan ever, and Dallas Week does not seem as glorious without him being here. But as far as an official mascot, I don't think we've ever had one. Why do we need one now?
Because you gotta attract the kids somehow, man.
When?
Still, but you gotta give the kids something when they come to the stadium. Like right now, part of the problem is you've lost a generation or almost 2 generations just from your poor play and your poor structure. So you got to start recruiting and recouping people as soon as possible. And I think that all goes into the jerseys. How's a little bit different. Like this rebrand wasn't meant for anybody over 40. I'm honestly say that.
Speaking of rebrand, that's another thing they fumbled. With the rebrand, you started coming out with the jerseys. Okay, you did the rebrand. You start calling yourselves the Commanders. Okay, the first thing you got is a John Riggins Commanders jersey. John Riggins hit the airwaves immediately. I do not want my name on a Commanders jersey. I never played for the Commanders. I don't think anybody that has never played for the football team or the Commanders should have a jersey. I think you should still be able to sell Redskin jerseys because that's the nostalgia. Maybe a little bit more, but you still should be able to sell them. Another thing, and we've seen this, myself and the boss BJ, we've seen this at the game when we went back in October. Stop calling everybody that played here once a legend. You bring out Andre Carter. You call Andre Carter a Commanders legend. Andre Carter ain't never played for the Commanders. He wasn't even a Redskin legend, so how is he a legend? What memorable game did Andre Carter have that went down in Redskin lore to call himself a legend? Now, if you say legendary receiver Santana Moss has big catches to win games. He has playoff catches. He has those things to say, okay, I think you can put him team legend because he has big wins against Dallas. You do against Dallas, you already automatically a legend because you beat the hated rival. That word legend is thrown around in DC so much. You know, when it's all said and done, this is going to ruffle a few feathers, and we'll get to this in the next segment. But when it's all said and done, Bradley Beal going to be called a DC legend. But he ain't busted a grape here. Stop throwing that word legend around.
I think the one thing when they do hire a new coach, the one thing the DC media always asks is about the Cowboys. I think that's such a low standard. I could lose if you tell me Buffalo could lose every game in the AFC East, creep into the playoffs as a wild card, win the Super Bowl. I could give a damn if they beat the Dolphins, the Patriots or the Jets. The standard has to be raised. I mean, because the Giants are beating that ass. The Eagles are beating that ass. Why Dallas? I know the rivalry, in which is not now.
It's not even a rivalry anymore.
Been, that's what I'm saying. It hasn't been for a while. I want to see that question stop being asked. It's irrelevant. If I'm the coach, I'm gonna say I don't give a damn about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm trying to get this team back to its glory years, and whoever's on our way gonna get a foot put in their ass. I don't care who they are. You got a star on your jersey. You got a lightning bolt on your. I don't care who you are. We're gonna change the culture here, and we're gonna take it game by game. Our goal is NFC Championship or better, and whoever we meet there, we meet there. The hell with the Cowboys. You know?
See, here's the thing. That thinking of, I don't care if we only win 2 games and both of them against the Cowboys, this is a successful season. I remember I used to hear that all the time. And I used to always say, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm not going at the time 2-14 and, oh, well, we beat the Cowboys twice. You think the Cowboys celebrated when they went 1-15? And they beat us? The only game they won was when they beat us? Oh, we knocked them out the playoffs. You think they celebrated and tore down goalposts because of that? That's mediocrity at its fucking finest. I can't. No, I can't. I won't. If we're not winning the division and walking into the playoffs and getting to, at the least, the divisional round, but, you know, at the most, we're walking into the Super Bowl heavy underdogs and we're putting up a fight and either winning the game, or if we lose, it's off a last second field goal because we left everything out there, and we're doing that 3 out of 5 seasons, then it's a failure. People getting happy over 10 wins. Fuck 10 wins. 10 wins means nothing to me. I need more than that.
You ain't had them since 2012, though.
Exactly. But I'm tired. We grew up 11-5, 14-2, 13-3, 12-4. These are the teams we grew up with. 10-6 was like, that's an off year. But I mean, you know, it's cool, but it's an off year. I remember going 10-6 and not making the playoffs before. I've seen teams do it. 10-6 is nothing. 10-6 is dog shit on the bottom of your shoe. We gotta want more. The fan base deserves more. The fan base also has to want more, just like the team has to want more. Here's my question, and then we'll move on to the next segment. The boss BJ alluded to it a little earlier in the conversation. Whether we get new ownership or not, is this Ron's last season as head man?
No.
No, I don't think it is. Just because if you do get new ownership, he's basically gonna get another year, and then I think after that, I think if he has a bad season next year, they'll clean house, probably do some intern coaching, and then, you know, that following season you'll get, you know, I don't think Jason Wright safe, and nobody's going to be safe once new ownership comes in here. They're going to be, you know, want them things ran their way. They're going to, you know, start. If you do it right, you want to pick people from the successful organizations, you know, and pick some of their, you know, people up and try to right this ship.
Here's my question. Go ahead.
I don't want them to come in and make any decisions right away. I want them to come in, sit down, see what we got, and go from there. Learn what's going on, figure out the ropes. That maybe it's Ron and the Hernies. I don't care who it is, but get your feet wet first. Because take a picture of the landscape and then see how you want to take it from there. Because you can see how things are run by having a person that's kind of done it before, and then you can see how you want things done. So I don't want them to come in and clean house. I want them to just come in, get settled. And like I said, I want it'll be 2024 by that time. But yeah, I want that to be the time when they start making their decisions to figure out what they want, how they want to shape this and mold this in their own image.
Let me throw something out there to you. I'm done choking, but let me throw something out there to you. Ron Rivera teams in year 3, 4, and 5. They've turned the corner. He did it in Carolina. Year 3, 12-4, first in the NFC South. Year 4, 7, 8-1, first in the NFC South. Year 5, 15-1, first in the NFC South. And I believe they went to the Super Bowl. Year 5 and 6. Year 5, 6 and 10, dropped off a little bit. Year 6, 11-5. Here, he hasn't surpassed 7 wins yet, which is kind of crazy. But he's been played. Go ahead.
No. There's one reason.
He hasn't had a quarterback here.
Cam.
Well, yeah.
Cam. So, I mean,
You about to get me breaking out in this chain, man. I love me some guy, boy. New Jack Swing. That's another story, though. But he hasn't had a quarterback here. He hasn't had. If you inherit quarterback problems, and I was telling BJ this the other day, I said Parcells inherited quarterback problems in New York when he first took over with the Giants. They wanted him gone after the first year, and Jimmy the Greek said it. How can you want a guy fired if he inherited quarterback problems? You can't just give him a season and say, "Here, go do something with this." He has to build. Ron has built this team in a way that it can be successful. It's missing a piece here and a piece there, but I'm not gonna say, "Oh, we one piece away from a championship." No, we may be about 4 or 5 pieces away from being not competitive. I don't want to say competitive. We're 4 or 5 pieces away from being a dominant team. And one of those pieces is on the coaching staff. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say which one I'm talking about, but one of those pieces is on the coaching staff. So give Ron a chance. I don't think this will be his last season. I want to see a coach get 5 solid years. I'm tired of seeing a coach get 3 years. Oh, you ain't doing it fast enough. Get out of here. Everybody else gets 5 years. Give this guy 5 years and let's do this. Just my thoughts.
I don't want him to get 5. 4 is enough for me to figure out what we're doing here. And if he can't win it in 4, then we need somebody else. Just like I don't want to go back into the bargain basement, Ben, at Walmart and look for a quarterback.
I agree with that.
I don't want no yellow tag quarterbacks or red tags to say clearance. I don't want none of that.
It's marked down though, Ben. Come on, Midnight Rider. It's marked down.
Nope.
You know I
And
can't.
then you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna break my rule, but I don't want Anthony Richardson either. Anthony Richardson is the young kid from Florida with one of the strongest arms, and he gonna put on a show at the combine. Don't want him. Don't need him.
Combine numbers mean nothing to me.
Can't win with him. The dude threw for like 40% in college. He's no.
Well, hold on.
Unless he does a Josh Allen miracle, I just
Daniel Jones threw for what, under 50%? Oh, at 50% in college, and look at him.
Yeah, but he went to Duke. He played for Cutcliffe, the Peyton Whisperer. So he got a bump because of that.
Then there's another thing.
The Zach Wilson bump. He got a bump.
Look at the teams in the division that have leapfrogged us. The Eagles were trash. They won the Super Bowl. They were hungover. They fired Peterson. They bring in Kelly. Kelly destroyed that whole team. No, Kelly was before Peterson. I'm sorry. Right. Kelly destroyed that team. Peterson put it back together, and then they destroyed it again. Now you got Hurts. They leapfrogged over us. The Giants.
There. See, the difference is they've made moves in each of the last 3 all seasons to put themselves in position to get quality players. They made the move for A.J. Brown. They added picks. So that's the difference right there.
Don't forget.
And then
they turned it over to Jalen Hurts.
But here's another difference. Guess their first pick is number 5, or wherever New Orleans finishes this year.
Shrewd management is what it is.
So you got a 13-win team picking 5th in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They just adding talent on top of talent.
And you know what that reminds me of? Red Auerbach. Thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Thinking about the future. But the Giants were bottom dwellers. They've leapfrogged us. Dallas has got back on top and leapfrogged us. Now we're the bottom dwellers again this year. Here's my thing. If we're going to stay with Ron, we can't come out and get steamrolled next week. We got to come out and we got to do something. If it's a shootout and I'm talking 45-42 and we lose, but it's like 45-42 and you like, I can't catch my breath because it got, we'd have had defensive touchdown.
40-2?
I said 45-42.
You mean 45-24?
You said 45-13? I can't. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, your
45.
nerve was not working. Yeah,
Are you saying 66-17? What are you saying?
If Washington wins 45-13, I'd be happy.
Are they playing them 2 weeks in a row? That's only getting them 45 points.
I was trying to be honest and say, hey, I'm trying to give Dallas a little credit. 45-42. It's gonna be a shootout.
You must be playing them in the aggregate or something.
Oh man.
I said
you said 40 points. You talk about 4 weeks worth of games for Washington. Man, come on. What do you
They scored 42? Hold on. They scored 12, 7. I don't even think they got 42 the last 4 weeks.
Jeez.
Y'all just don't never let me be great. It's a new year, fellas. Let me be great sometimes.
Well, you can be great, but we just
let me
dream your math.
My math never maths. What part of that don't you get?
Because we ain't scored. I mean, I don't know.
Bro. Micah Parsons had 40 sacks before y'all scored 40 points. He had 40 sacks in the game before y'all put up 40 points.
That's like a sack every damn play.
It will, yeah. That's what I'm saying. My Wi-Fi went off. I wanted to address what you said about Ron. Here's the problem I have with Ron, and here's why I don't need to see year 4 or year 5. Ron teams keep coming out flat. Last week wasn't the first time a Ron Rivera-led team has come out on the field and absolutely been overwhelmed offensively and defensively. Like the game plan they had was just like, yeah, this ain't working. We don't know what to do. It's no adjustments. You have, Taylor Heineke, which I kept saying, yeah, he's not the answer long term. But I felt like the offense wasn't geared towards him. You put Wentz in last week, or this week past, and yeah, I think it was warranted. I agree with the move. But he should have been on a short leash. He should have been pulled probably the end of the first, beginning of the second quarter. You put Heineke back in and get the troops back rolling. You have a meeting at the sideline. You spit, you yell, you get the Bill Cowher going. You got the drool coming out your mouth, the chin up. You got all 53 men. You yelling and screaming at them like, get your asses, your head out your asses, and go here and knock the brown off them fucking helmets. That's the problem I have with Ron. The teams keep coming out flat. You look at, I know I keep saying this. I know I got a Kyle Shanahan love story, but he keeps getting quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after piece after piece after piece. And guess what? His game plan mirrors what these guys can do, what their strengths are. And Andy Reid, we're going to do what we do best. I know I got a strong arm cue. Mike McDaniel down in Miami. You got 2 of the fastest receivers in the league. Hit them quick. Let them go. This team comes out bad too often. I think, and I don't know if Ron's tired. I don't know if Ron's voice is dying out on the team. And sometimes it's just be like that. Sometimes teams are just tired of hearing a voice and they need a change, whether it's for, you hope it's for better, but, whether you need a more of a disciplinarian, more of a young guy that can talk to the players and kind of relate to them. But, I don't need to see any more from Ron. Now, does that mean he's a bad coach? No, I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think that his time here is expired.
Damn it. I can't say nothing. I can't say nothing. Only thing I can say is nothing. You know, I'm just all right, man. I guess I just had to move on because I guess we'll have to agree to disagree. Let's just say that. Because I can't see everybody else gets time. And we always letting somebody go before their time is up. We let Scott McCloughan go before his time was up. We let Kirk Cousins go. We let him walk. Got no compensation before his time was up. Man, between players and staff, you let Kyle Shanahan go, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur. And these are your top head coaches in the league right now. You know, you let them go before their time was up. You didn't give them a chance. I'm tired of that's the status quo that I can't get over. I'm tired of not giving people a chance. And even though knowing that the problems that he has, and it may seem like I'm just making up every excuse in the book, but I'm really not. Look at the whole picture. If I throw you out there and you don't have a quarterback to run the system and you're trying to run with guys that you have, but you can't get nobody to come here, what you going to do? Are you going to win? Just my thoughts, though. Moving on to the last topic of the night, I got some questions about the Wizards. This team is like a roller coaster. I like to call them hilly because they are very hilly. 1 minute they're up, the next minute they're down. When they're down, they're way down. Peaks and valleys all season long. If you can make one move, and this is just question number one, if you can make one move at the trade deadline, what's your move to improve this team?
Mine is just health. I think this team just needs to be healthy. I think you've seen some glimpses this week. The Gafford, I'm sorry, I don't call them Gafford. Doritos. Doritos is starting to play a little bit better. You got DeLeon right back. You got some people that need to just find their roles. And they need to win some ball games that they're supposed to win. And I think they'll be fine. You know, they're not going to be number 5 in the East, but they'll probably be in that bubble scenario or the play-in. And that's about it. That's all they are right now.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. I'm not paying somebody $200-something million to play in a fucking bubble. That's the problem. This guy's only played 23 games. What if they played 40 games so far? He's already what are they 20? They 17 and 23, I think. So you're talking about your superstar that you paid all this money to. You're going to have peaks and valleys because he doesn't play. I think he's playing tonight. But how can you have consistency? How can you put your lineup together when the guy that is supposed to be the breadwinner on the team is damn near never there? I have praised Tommy Shepard over and over again. That is going to be the mistake that haunts him and gets him fired, is re-signing Bradley Beal to that contract extension. I'm sorry. If this dude, if we're, if I know signing him, he's proven that him alone, he can elevate this team to the 6th seed. And then you go get Porzingis, you build off Kuzma, and then you fix your pieces. This team has been barely a playing team. Barely a playing team. My issue with this team is their off-season move to sign Bradley Beal. This is going to be what this team is. Now, I'd rather have Anthony Davis on the damn team. I'd rather have Anthony Davis in a Wizards uniform than watch Bradley Beal steal money on the bench. That's what he's doing. Steal money on the bench and basically take this team down. He's the crab that keeps pulling you back in the barrel. That's what he is, and that's what's going to keep happening to this team. This team, as long as Bradley Beal is signed, will probably never be higher than a fifth seed. How can you justify $200-something million and you're telling your fans, hey, we're good with being mediocre? We'll be exciting. We'll beat the Suns sometimes. We'll beat them Bucks a couple times, every couple years. We'll show you like, man, why don't they play like this all the time? If they play like this all the time, they be, top 3 in the East. They'll come up and play a big game against KD and the Nets and beat them. And then guess what? They'll be the 9th seed. They'll play in. Bradley Beal be like, my wrist hurt. I can't play. Then, you got Kuzma and Porzingis trying to hold the ship up like they've been trying to do all year. And they're going to get eliminated. I'm sorry, not eliminated. Eliminated. They're going to eliminate it. They're going to eliminate it.
Here's the thing. I thought the addition of Porzingis and Kuzma, I thought they should have kept KCP as well. But the addition of Porzingis with Kuzma and Beal, I was like, okay, this is something. All you got to do is put some role players, some pieces around them. You got some. I didn't think this would be a 17-21 team. I thought that. I guess I have higher hopes for the Bull. I got higher hopes for the Wizards sometimes than I do for the Bulls. And here's the thing. Would you rather, and this is question number 2, would you rather, me being a Bulls fan, would you rather take Zach LaVine off my hands and I'll take Bradley Beal?
I just gave you my answer. I'd rather have Anthony Davis and him play 35% of the games. Anybody. I said that you trade before they sign him, trade him, get the pieces back, rebuild like the Pelicans did. Get your picks, rebuild. They're stuck. Now, don't get me wrong. I think eventually they're gonna have to move. I hate getting on Instagram and Twitter, and the Wizards are losing. I see people saying free Bradley Beal, and I always put free the Wizards. Free the Wizards, man. Like really, like this, bro. I had so much hope for this dude. I always say he's the Lamborghini that you take out on the Autobahn and you only doing 65, and you got mini Coopers going 100 past you. Woof! And you're like, nah, I'm a baby. I ain't gonna open this thing up. That's his whole career to me. Like, I know, I'm harsh on him, but it's just being a Wizards fan. I have not watched one basketball game this year with the Wizards. I refuse to. That's my process. I'm not going to a game. I'm not watching them on TV until this product gets better. Until they get rid of number 3, I'm not going unless somebody give me tickets. And they give me tickets, I'll probably sell them for the floor seats. They probably $15. Probably get $30 off them. Yeah, I take taxes off of that, so it probably would be $18. Go get a Chipotle burrito and a Coke, for some floor seats at the Wizards game. And this dude's a coach killer. He's gonna get Wes Unseld Jr. fired. Trust and believe me, because you're not gonna blame your superstar. So,
Midnight Rider, any rebuttal?
Free Bradley Beal.
Oh my god.
Nice. Well, seriously, I mean, I always have the belief that who we are in November and December isn't who you want to be in March and April. Just the basketball saying line that I always have. So I feel like this team can get in a situation where they can get on a run, get some things together, and I don't know, try to figure it out.
Well, I need them to figure it out because me personally, I'm just looking for a little capsule in time, maybe a 3-year capsule where the Wizards, the Commanders, the Caps, the Nationals, the Mystics,
I forgot. I'm sorry. Breaking news. The Nats decided to sign Dominic Smith, former first baseman for the New York Mets, to a 1-year, $2 million deal. We are breaking the bank, people. We are putting all our eggs in one basket. We are setting the world on fire. We're going to tear it down. The Nats, baby. Who needs Bryce Harper? Who needs Trey Turner? You got Dominic Smith. You got Joey Meneses. We got Victor Robles. I'm sorry.
Just the excitement in his voice sounded like he was just about to cry. I just want to let that be known.
But
He's hurt.
You know the crazy thing, before they sign him, the credit card probably declined 2 or 3 times. And let me call the bank for her.
Nah, they probably used the Washington. I ain't gonna say that. They used the Commanders' charity account. That's why the check bounced.
You know what? I think this the first one out the gate for the year 2023. First DC Sports Rundown, first show of 2023. We'll be back on Thursday.
You can't walk out on this, man. Yo, shout out to the Caps. They've got points in 11 of their last 13. They got TJ Oshie back tonight. They ended the new year 9-2 over Montreal. I don't know what the score is tonight, but I haven't.
Should have been 10-2. That wasn't offsides.
I'm just saying we gotta get the Caps some love because they playing some hockey and they got themselves back in the divisional race.
Good, because like I was saying, if I can get that capsule in time with the Caps, Nationals, Wizards, Commanders, Mystics,
Dominic
United,
Smith, yes,
DC United, every DC sports team is competing for a championship at one time. I would love that. And here's BJ again.
Here we go.
Not gonna do it. Thank you all for joining us tonight because the cat decided to show up. But we are out of here. We will be back on Thursday. It's been so long since I did it, I can't even get it right. But we'll be back on Thursday for the Thursday Night Throwdown. Keep a look at us on Twitter and Instagram and social media, period, see what we're doing and what we got up our sleeve. But until then, we don't do no overtime. We are out of here.